Alrighty, good afternoon. Welcome everybody, welcome to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. Happy Friday to you all. My name's Rob, I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint, and I'm going to be spending the next 45 minutes with you going through what DuePoint is, what we do, who we are, and hopefully by the end of that you will be enlightened enough to make a decision. Alrighty, so let's begin. DuePoint, we're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. They're based just down the road from us in Randburg. That's their building in the background. That's their orange little logo that you see over there. They are a registered insurance company in South Africa. There's not many of those around. We think that every company that offers insurance products is an insurance company. They're not. There's only about a dozen registered insurance companies in the country. Constantia is one of them. They were founded in 1952, a long time ago. Nearly 70 years old. That's a lot older than I've been around for. And they played a fairly fundamental role in developing the insurance industry in South Africa. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. You'll notice in the foyer we've got all our FSP licenses on display. We've got a long and short-term insurance license and investment license. We've got our FSP license. We've got our accreditation with the DSA and the DMA. Why all this stuff? So that we build some credibility with you, right? There are a lot of different business opportunities floating around the country. Some reputable, some not so reputable. Some we get involved in without too much trust involved. I want you to develop trust at this point. We're a very reputable business. We've got very reputable individuals involved in this business. We're part of another company called Conduit Capital, which is listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. So I'm hoping that you start finding a little bit of credibility, a little bit of trust in this business we're going to be speaking about this afternoon. The individuals involved here at DuePoint are, well, this is at least the executive and the senior management team. The three people on the far left are all registered chartered accountants in South Africa. There's Brendan, you would have seen him in and out the foyer earlier. He's our senior executive. He heads up DuePoint. We're very fortunate to have him heading up DuePoint because he's got so much experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because their family's been entrenched in insurance his entire life. His father's a professor of insurance, taught at Wits for 25 years, founded Clientele Life, which is one of the biggest insurers in the country. They went on to then start the IFA. Brendan and his brother Stuart went on to start PMD, which is Prime Meridian Direct, a very successful, I think they're the third or fourth biggest short-term insurer based just down the road from us. So a lot of experience that he brings. Tim Reynolds, also very experienced. He worked at the First Rand Group directly beneath the CEO there. He reported directly to the Board of Executives. And Stacey's also got a fair amount of experience locally as well as abroad with Deloitte, and she's come back to South Africa, and we convinced her to come join us here with our team. And then the two non-accountants, Jane and I, the fun in the business, the personality of the business. Accountants don't really have personalities. They hide behind Excel. But Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is obviously fundamental to the growth of this business because that's kind of the channel of marketing that we focus on, which is direct marketing and direct selling. Jane's got a lot of experience there. She's from York in England. She's been in South Africa for about 10 years. So if you speak to her, you'll realize she's got a funny accent. It's a Yorkshire accent. And then myself, I've been in marketing and advertising for the majority of my working career. I started a digital agency in the late 90s, ran that for about 20 years before I then left that business and came to join the team here at DuePoint. So those are the individuals. We certainly don't hide in our offices. We very much get involved with the wealth engineers that get involved in this business. And our mandate here is to support our wealth engineers because we can only be successful as a business if our wealth engineers are being effective and successful. And so everything that we do in DuePoint is to support you guys, right? To create a platform that helps you be as effective as possible as a wealth engineer. Okay. So why have you been brought here? This is generally the scary part of the presentation because I'll spend a little more time on this in the evening presentations, but we're limited to our 45 minutes. And I don't really need to speak to you individually about the pain that I know most South Africans are experiencing from a financial point of view. We generally talk about the economy, which is dismal at the moment and has been for a while. But the one aspect that kind of exacerbates our financial situation is debt. So just by looking at the economy, that plays out in a whole host of different ways in terms of our personal lives. We see companies having to survive in the economy that we have at the moment. And we're very much on the tail end of everything, so we don't really have control over the economy, right? You read everything, the bad news in the newspaper, and you hear on the radio, but what control do you have over it? You've got zero control over it, right? And that plays out in the unemployment that we have to face, rising interest rates, food inflation sitting at 11%. It just goes on and on and on and on and on, and there's zero growth happening in the economy. And therefore, the unemployment that we have at the moment is going to stay where it is. 50% of our workforce is unemployed, and that is not going to change until the economy starts to change. So unfortunately, we don't have any control over that. The thing we do have control over, however, is debt. Lots of debt. South Africans love debt. We love debt. We are afforded debt the moment you earn a salary. Typically, it got paid into a bank account. The bank said, I've got a wonderful client. He earns a salary. You can depend on him. Let's debit a couple of things from him. Okay, being a bit facetious, but the bank will typically only offer you these products once they know you're a salary earner. And we'll engage in a whole bunch of financial products. Some are debt instruments, others are investments and savings products. Okay. South Africans engage in a whole host of debt instruments, from credit cards, personal loans, educational loans, take a loan out to buy a nice fancy car every 5 years. You want to buy a house, you can't afford it cash, so you agree to pay the bank back 20 years and pay that house off over that bond term until you're in your 50s before you actually own a house for the first time. Okay? And we get a lot of statistics from the FSB that paints a picture of what personal finance looks like for South Africans. And again, it's generally not a very pretty picture. It's a fairly ugly picture. Recently, we got a statistic that said that of all the South Africans that have debt, 50% of those people are under debt review, which means they have been unable to meet their debt commitments for more than 3 months. Right? 50%. That's pretty much half the working population cannot afford to pay back the money that they owe to financial institutions. It means they are stretched every single month. They are running out of money every single month. Not a great situation to be in. Okay, so this is my bad news slide. To make things even worse, we bring in this little thing called retirement planning, right? Because when you get stuck into the cycle where you're living from month to month, you're just trying to get by, month to month, maybe year to year. You go through the cycle of the year, catch up to November, pray for a bonus in December. You don't get the bonus, maybe you get a little bit of bonus in December. The kids want to go on holiday, you want to travel, see the family wherever they are. You've got presents to buy everybody. You've got to go spoil the family that you go see. And then in January, you suffer, right? And in February, you give yourself another 10 months, 11 months to catch up. And we find ourselves in the cycle. And if you are running out of money every month, like 50% of people are currently in our country, that cycle becomes like a weekly stress, weekly, monthly anxiety that you have to deal with. And there is no space for the South Africans to start planning forward. And when I talk about planning forward, I'm talking about worrying about your retirement. Because only 2% of South Africans will retire financially independent. 2%. So we've got 30 people in the room here. Maybe one of us will retire financially independent. Maybe one. The rest of us are going to find ourselves in a set of circumstances where either you've got to downscale your lifestyle to such a degree that you can afford to get by every month on whatever money you have, or you're going to become a burden to your family and your children around you just to survive. It's not a situation you want to be in. If you do not have perspective on what responsible financial planning looks like, look at the data on the slide. So this was published in the Fin24 website. It was actually an article based around the rising mortality rate, right? And that's predicated on advancement in health and care and that type of thing. So currently, the mortality rate for women is 74 years of age, but kids being born today are expected to live to 100. Right? That has a direct effect on retirement planning. Because if you're retiring, let's say you retired this year, statistics say that you, on average, going to die at around 74. So if you're doing retirement planning, you go, oh, well, I only need to budget for 15 years of not working. But if you're living to 100, you have to budget on living for 30, 35 years without a salary. Right? So it has a great effect on retirement planning. But anyway, so that's what the article was about. But the figures remain the same. So the figures actually are predicated again on you living to 90. Okay? So let's say you want to survive, you can survive, or you feel you can survive on 5,000 Rand a month. You need to have saved in cash investments the total sum of R1,000,000. That R1,000,000 will pay you out 5,000 Rand a month for the next 30 years. It'll also eat into that capital. So by the time you get to 90, the R1,000,000 has run out, but you've enjoyed 5,000 Rand a month. So you have to die at 90. Because your money will have run out, right? And this is how retirement planning works. Your financial advisor will say, well, this money will pay you out so much. How many years do you still have to work? How old are you? When do you want to retire? It's a fairly simple calculation. But 5,000 Rand a month is certainly not dignified. 26,000 Rand a month, you need to have saved 5,000,000 Rand in investments. So if you're around 20, 25 years of age, you can engage in responsible retirement planning, right? Because you have time on your side. Always want to leverage the time on your side whenever you look at savings and investments. So you need to save 4,000 Rand a month for 40 years. So you start when you're 25, you can retire when you're 65, put 4,000 Rand away every single month and make sure that you increase that contribution by 7% in line with inflation annually. Can you see why only 2% of people do it in the country? Anyone doing this? It's too much money. When 50% of the population is living month to month, week to week, you think they've got time to go, oh, let me put 4,000 Rand a month away for 40 years' time. They're worrying about groceries that month. How are they going to pay the school that month? And so South Africans, majority on a macro level, find themselves in a very precarious position. And they haven't realized the impact of this until they get to retirement. Right? We've got 1 million kids coming out of matric almost every year, coming into the workplace. When there's no growth in the economy, that's 1 million unemployed people pretty much coming into the workplace every year. It's not looking good. So if you're hoping for the economy to suddenly turn around in 2017, don't hold your breath. Okay? Let this paint a picture of what retirement planning looks like, because if you're not engaging in this, you're going to have trouble when you get to retirement. Okay? You've got to hope that you don't get retrenched in that time too, because that eats into your savings very quickly. So out of this, out of all the problems that we've just highlighted, we saw as a business, as a division of Constantia, we saw an opportunity to create a platform that empowers South Africans to change their circumstances, to change their position, to change their future. And so the DuePoint system was created, and it was launched in February last year. We have 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. The first aspirational goal is to see our wealth engineers become debt-free. We want to see you debt-free, because debt is crippling, and I'll highlight that for you soon. You might be thinking on the previous slide, geez, how am I going to save even R1,000,000? R1,000,000 Rand I have to save by the time I retire. How is that even possible? Okay, so I'll highlight that for you a little bit. But that's our first goal, is to see you become debt-free. Completely debt-free. That means you own your house. Don't wait till you're 50 before you own your own house. We want to see you pay your house off faster. We want to see you own the car that you drive. No debit order coming off every month. Right? We want to see you without educational loans, without personal loans, without credit cards, without clothing accounts. The money that comes into your bank account is there for you to decide how you want to spend it. Not based on the 50% of debit orders that go off and wipe out half your salary on day 1 of the month. Okay? Our second aspiration, our second goal, is to see you start investing in something that grows every month, something that doesn't have an underlying debt instrument. People always make the mistake in thinking buying a house is this wonderful investment they're going to make. If you bond that over 20 years, you're paying back the bank 2.5 times the value of that property asset. And it only becomes yours after 20 years. And is the house in the state that it was when you bought it 20 years ago? No, the amount of money that you spend on maintaining that house, you've got to be lucky that you're in an area that appreciates over time. If you're not, it's certainly not an investment. Okay, so we want to see our wealth engineers engage in something that has the ability to grow, something that you can look forward to. Okay, then our third aspiration is to see our wealth engineers smile more. Wouldn't that be novel? Yeah, smile more. We want to see you happier, because I promise you, if you are debt-free and you have something to look forward to from an investment point of view, from a money point of view, you'll smile every month. You won't feel what you're feeling now, currently, month to month. You'll pop out of that cycle. You'll liberate yourself. This is what true empowerment is actually about. Empowerment is about the ability of having choice. That's what empowerment's all about. And you don't have choice when 50% of your salary gets wiped out every month just repaying debt. When you're worrying about food inflation, food's doubling in price every 8 years currently. So it's about liberating yourself from that circumstance. Okay, so how does this work? Our guests here. How many guests do we have in the room? Just a show of hands. Don't be shy. It's the only question I'm going to ask you today. Maybe a question right at the end, but you won't have to answer that directly to me. Okay, welcome. So how does the system work? Well, basically our guests have the opportunity of joining DuePoint. You actually contract with us. And when you contract with us, we call you a wealth engineer. Okay? And as a wealth engineer, we only want you to do one thing, and that is what we call building a channel of distribution. And into this channel of distribution, through our online platform, we will attempt to place products with the people that you introduce to us. And this is how the whole system works. In a nutshell. It's very straightforward. Okay? I'll explain to you. I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like. But the benefit to you is that you get to create an additional income stream for yourself. This is the only way you're going to pay your debt off any faster than you currently are. The average South African only starts putting money in investments and savings on average when they're in their 50s. Frightening, isn't it? In your 50s. 10 years before you retire. That data showed us 40 years of saving, and you going, I'll give myself 10 years to do it. Why does that happen? That's because people take out the 20-year bond. You normally only buy a house when you're in your 30s, but you take out that 20-year bond because you decided to buy the biggest house you could on the salary that you were getting. And so you don't have space to pay more than what your bond repayment is. So you wait the 20 years. And then in your 50s, first time you own your house. In your 50s, the first time the kids are out the house through university and hopefully supporting themselves. And so for the first time in your life, you've actually got money left over at the end of the month. And in a panic, I think you start putting money towards retirement. Okay, but it's too late. So an additional income stream is the only way that you're going to get out of that cycle, out of that issue that you have, right? The system's not designed to replace your employment or your salary. It's there to supplement it. The nature of our business allows you to create recurring income. This is a wonderful thing because the effort that you put into building this business in month one doesn't only pay you at the end of month one. It pays you in a recurring fashion. It'll pay you at the end of month 2, at the end of month 3, at the end of month 4, at the end of month 5, and it'll just keep paying you, right? It's a great benefit to have. This is something that insurance companies have. This is a benefit that insurance companies have. You get to harness the power of duplication. These channels of distribution that I speak of, it's the opportunity for you to go out and actually build teams of people that will collaborate with you for your own financial benefit, to help you build your residual value that creates recurring income for you, right? So now you're collaborating with the people. In the workplace, you're not collaborating with people. You're collaborating for the company's benefit, but for your own benefit, not so much. Because in a workplace where 50% of people are unemployed, you're actually in competition with every single person in that company. And this flies in the face of that. You're not in competition with any other wealth engineer in this business. Not at all. You're completely accountable for your own time. So this is very much a flexi-time business. You decide how much time you want to commit to this business. Completely up to you. And this is really the decision that I want you to make by the end of the presentations. What are you going to sacrifice in terms of time to make this business work? Because anyone can join DuePoint. Literally anyone. But to make it successful is a completely different matter altogether. And that is the decision at the end of the presentation. Am I interested in it? Yes or no? If you are, what are you going to sacrifice? Because I'm going to propose to you, I want you to sacrifice family time, leisure time, time watching Game of Thrones, maybe time going to the gym, right? All that nice time when you're not working at your permanent day job. That's the time this business needs, okay? There's no way around it, by the way. No way around it. So you've got to get your head around that before you make the decision. No startup capital. There's no registration fees. There's no contract that signs you in over an extended period of time. Okay, so it's a very low risk opportunity that you have the fortune of getting involved in. There's no qualifications or experience required. We work within financial services, so we're regulated by the FSB and the FASE Act, very onerous industry to work in, to the point where 70, 80,000 financial advisors left the industry because it was too much of a pain in the bum to carry on working in financial services. Fortunately, the way we've structured our business, we contract you out of any of that obligation. So you don't have to worry about qualifications, regulation, all that horrible stuff. You can still gain the benefit of being in finances. You get to build an asset. This is a very important point, because if I'm proposing to you, give me your free time, your family time, the time you have on weekends, at least know that the time that you're now investing into this business, building this channel of distribution, you have ownership over it. So you can sell it. You can give it to your kids when you get too old to carry on running the business. If something happens to you, you can cede it to your beneficiaries. So it gets treated as a legal asset, this channel of distribution that you're investing time into. There's no selling required. We actually contract you out of selling. Again, the nature of our business of financial products. So I'm not hiding 3 tons of vitamins in the storeroom for you to now purchase when you want to get going in this business, right? No expiry dates on our products. We don't run out of products here. There's no stock issues. You don't have to fight for space at home with your spouse because you've now got into this new business opportunity. So we make this business as convenient and as simple as possible to get involved in as possible. And this is all purely through building these channels of distribution. So this is what it looks like. That's you. You become a wealth engineer. And the one thing that we ask you to do is just to go out and tell other people about the business opportunity, right? You want to share that opportunity, that empowerment of being able to change your financial position. And so if you're successful in that and you're able to bring other people into DuePoint and we're able to place a product with them, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. But those individuals do the same thing. Except for this lazy bugger here, he didn't do anything. Never changes. Been doing this for a year, he still hasn't added anyone to his channel. But this is the organic growth that your channel can see with time, right? This is power of duplication. This is you leveraging all these individuals for your financial benefit. This is your channel. You're the CEO of this channel. This is what you have legal tender over. And next month, there'll be a few more dots, a few more people that join, more products. Again, more financial benefit that has the ability to grow every month, every day, possibly. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is our disclaimer slide. I touched on there being too many dodgy financial opportunities, or business opportunities, should I say, around South Africa. I'll forgive you if you arrived here thinking, oh, I've been pulled into one of these get-rich-quick schemes, right? But I'll remind you, we're a business listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. We are regulated by the FSB. We've got very reputable individuals behind this business. We would never, ever align ourselves with anything that even smells remotely like a get-rich-quick scheme. And at the same time, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that getting rich quick is even a possibility in this business, because it isn't. I spoke to you about sacrificing time. It is going to require sacrificing time constantly. Whether you decide you can do it on a daily basis or a weekly basis, that's what it requires. If you've ever had the pleasure of trying to start your own business, you'll realize how easy it is to start the business, but very difficult to make it successful. And that rings true in every aspect of life, whether it's your marriage that you're working on, business, trying to lose weight, whatever the case, right? There's nothing that comes easily in life, ever. They even show studies, these people that win the lottery, they lose that money within like 24 months. Gone. In America and Europe, they win like billions of dollars. Gone in 24 months. Why? They don't know how to manage it. They've never had it. They didn't earn it. So in this business, if you want to be successful, I'm telling you now, there's frustration, there's learning curve. We're dealing with people mostly, and we all know how difficult it is to manage people, right? That's why I want you to have a big enough reward, a big enough why at the end of this, so that you can motivate yourself to get through it. And don't come with short-term expectation. We live in a society where everything is now short-term expectation. I want this immediately. The drive-through gives me this, that. Business doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Some companies are happy just to start turning profit after 5 years of operating. In this business, you can do it a lot quicker. But to be really successful, to really change your circumstance, takes long-term commitment. And that's what I expect from our wealth engineers. Okay, so how do we pay our wealth engineers? Well, we pay our wealth engineers something that we call returns. A return is something that we pay you every month based on how many products you have in your channel of distribution. Okay, so we pay a base return fee of 27 Rand 50 for every product that is in your channel. But that depends on where the product lies in relation to you in your channel. So remember those first 5 individuals you introduced to the business and we're able to place a product with them. Those people lie on your first point. Okay, on your first point, you see we actually pay you double that 27 Rand 50. So we pay you 55 Rand for every product every month. It's recurring income. So you're getting paid every month going forward. Those people go out and they bring in people. Those individuals lie on your second point. You might not even know these people. Maybe some of them are friends of friends, but you typically don't know anyone on your second point. On your second point again, we pay you 55 Rand for every product every month. To the third point, the multiplier drops back to 100%, and then you see it starts to decrease all the way down to the 8th point. At the 8th point, we're paying you 4% or 1 Rand 10 for every product in your channel, but we don't limit you there. So from your 8th point onwards, in theory into infinity, we will pay you that 4% of the 27 Rand 50 every single month. So we don't limit you on how big your channel can get. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. Okay, so this is the mechanics of the returns. Very straightforward again, I think. The next natural question is, well, how much money can I earn after a certain amount of time? If I start doing this business, tell me how much money I can earn in 3 months or 6 months or a year, or you say long term, what can I expect in 5 years if I commit 5 years to this? So the clever accountants, they built this thing that they coined the path to success. It's based on a growth model that we call 3+2, which assumes, for the sake of the example, that you can bring in 3 people in your first month. Okay? And then every consecutive month, you only have to bring in 2 people. That's why we call it 3+2. But you've got to keep bringing 2 people every month. So it's 3+2+2+2+2+2. It's 1 person every 2 weeks going forward. Okay? Sound doable? Doesn't sound too onerous. Okay? Based on that growth model, you can expect to be around, or earning at least, a return of 2,500 Rand a month after 6 months. Too much work to earn so little money? 6 months of work? 2,500 Rand, remember, it's recurring. It's recurring. But let me give you some context, and I'm going to go back to the example of debt and how debt cripples us. Okay? So here's an example of someone who's got a R1 million bond. They went and found a nice little townhouse. Property's costing a fortune at the moment, especially in this area that we live in. R1 million for a little townhouse. The bank says, great. Let me see how much you're earning. Can I depend on you? Let's check your credit history. Okay, you don't have the cash. We'll agree to give you a bond. You're going to pay us back at the current interest rate about 11,500 Rand every month for the next 20 years. So if you're in your 30s, you're going to expect to pay that house off finally in your 50s somewhere. And then you join DuePoint, and 6 months later with some success, you've reached 2,500 Rand a month of recurring income that you've generated for yourself. And what do you do with the 2,500 Rand? Buy new Nikes, new leather handbag. What do you do with the two? You put it into your debt, remember? It ties in with our first aspiration for our wealth engineers. Pay your debt off as quickly as possible. Because what is the effect? Let me show the effect to you. You put 2,500 Rand on top of that bond repayment. You're going to pay that house off in 11.5 years instead of 20 years. You'll pay the house off and own it when you're in your 40s instead of your 50s. Don't be the average South African that waits until they get to their 50s before they can afford to start investing in their retirement properly. Do you want to know how much money you saved in terms of repayments with that little 2,500 Rand? 1 million Rand. 2,500 Rand has saved you the same value of the property asset. That's crazy, right? I didn't believe the accountants when they told me that. I had to go double check. It illustrates to you what debt is doing to you. You can only do this if you create additional income stream for yourself. Okay? After 12 months, you're on over 100,000 Rand annually that you're creating for yourself. Anyone get a 100,000 Rand bonus this year? Or end of last year? Usually you've got one person there. Puts their hand up halfway because they know we're going to ask him for money if we find out he's got so much. You keep going. After 24 months, you could be on close to 30,000 Rand a month. Do you see how it jumps? Have you noticed that your return can potentially go up every single month? 30,000 Rand a month. That's serious cash we're talking about, right? Doesn't matter whether you're earning 200,000 Rand a month, the extra 30,000 Rand a month makes a significant difference to anyone's life. After 36 months, you're nearly 50,000 Rand a month. When I look at the bond example, you're a high flyer now, so you've progressed from a million Rand house to a 5 million Rand house. At month 30, you're probably earning about 37,000 Rand. Put that into your bond payment. You'll pay that 5 million Rand house off in less than 7 years. So I like this example because I'm 40 at the moment. So I know, well, if I got to this stage with DuePoint and I had the ability to do this, by the time I'm 47, I'll have paid off a 5 million Rand house that I own. So I had to do it again, buy another 5 million Rand house, pay that off in 7 years. Now I'm 54. 6 years till I retire. I'll do it again, a third time. By the time I retire, at 61, I now own 15 million Rand in property assets. That's the retirement that we want to see our wealth engineers aim for, right? You've got to decide that now, not in a panic 10 years before you retire. Decide it now, before, whether it's 20 years or 30 years before retirement, to realize that. And it requires planning. It requires 10, 20 years of commitment, right? That's why I say we have to start thinking long term. You have to get out of the cycle of living month to month, year to year. It just doesn't work. You keep going. After 48 months, nearly 70,000 Rand a month. And after 60 months, you're generating for yourself about 1 million Rand annually on a recurring basis. You could be at the position, because we're creating recurring income, where you can take 3 months holiday. You're still going to get paid. While you're on holiday, still going to get paid. I could not do that in my business. In my business, we sold time. I had designers working for me, developers, salespeople. We started at zero at the beginning of every single month. Start at zero. We'd have to find the sales, do the sales, book in the production, do the production, invoice the production to make money for that month. If people went on holiday, that's production I lost every single month. Couldn't create residual value in my business. In this business, you get to create this for yourself. And remember, this is based on example, 3 plus 2. Remember? You can do less than 3 plus 2. You can join like a gym contract, never go to gym. You can join, become a wealth engineer, very easy, and just not commit that spare time that we've asked for into the business. And then you'll be 0 plus a 0. And after 5 years, how much residual value will you have in your business?
0.
Absolutely nothing. But because of this example, you can do more than 3 plus 2. So I've got wealth engineers doing way more than 3 plus 2. They're committing lots of time to the business. You know, arguably all their spare time is being put into this business. Here's Mavuma. You can see he joined in November. He said he took December off. Got to nearly 5,500 Rand on 2 months worth of work. It's had great success. In a single month, his residual value in that business increased to the extent where he was paying himself 1,000 Rand more in returns in 30 days. We can't even get our head around that, because you go try ask your boss for a raise every month, see what he says. Right? He'll laugh at you. April, based on all the debit orders that we're running in his channel, he's created himself 16,500 Rand. And April's not even finished yet. Got Donnie, he joined the business the day we launched it. He was very skeptical. He had been in different businesses before. His wife was extra skeptical, but he decided to commit the time that he had. It's grown every single month since then. Just keeps on going up. And that's 12 months. Again, the accountability lies solely on your shoulders. No one is going to make you do this business. No one. You'll even have detractors, right? People that say to you, oh no, you're part of one of those schemes. You're part of that. You're part of that. The people that love you will say things like that to you, right? You've got to make the decision for yourself. Patrick and Pumi. They joined, I think, a week after Donnie. On Tuesday, we paid out March's returns. So all the business that we debited in their channel in March takes us 20 days to reconcile our accounts. We paid them on Tuesday. 83,000 Rand got deposited into their bank account. This is done in their spare time. Patrick's got his other businesses he's been running for years and years and years. This was supposed to take them nearly 5 years to get to. Guys, my point is 3 plus 2 is only an example. You can do a lot worse than it, or you can do better than it. It's up to you again. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every single month in this business. In the last 30 days, we are paying 50% more wealth engineers than we were a month ago. What business is growing like that in this economy? So this is the returns. Over and above the returns, we've got something called the XP Rewards program. Okay, so we pay the returns based on how many products you have in your channel every month. But this is a rewards program. This is over and above that monthly payment that we make to our wealth engineers. And this really what it does is it rewards success in the business. This is a little bit of fun on the side, right? From our point of view, it's a way for us to keep engaging with our wealth engineers, to incentivize them, like I said, to make it more fun, and to also give them tools to make them more effective in this business, almost like an induction program of sorts for us. Okay, so if you become a wealth engineer, we will expect that you'll start engaging in typical wealth engineer behavior, like coming to a presentation like this, bringing guests with you, logging into the website, doing all these typical behaviors. And when you do that, we give you something called XP. Okay, XP's got no monetary value. So we give you this XP and you start collecting more and more of this XP the more you engage as a typical wealth engineer. And when you start having success in the business and you start creating more product in your channel, we reward you along the way. Okay, so if you become a wealth engineer today, you will have the grand title of rank 0. Okay, you'll still be 0 plus 0. You rank 0, you're earning 0. But very quickly, you can get to rank 1. You only need 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your qualified channel. Okay, so you can do that in about 24 hours if you really wanted to. You can get there very quickly. And at rank 1, we'll be paying you a return at the end of the month. But on top of that, we'll give you a 55 Rand reward in our XP Rewards program. Okay, this just allows you to focus a little more, because now you're at rank 1 and you realize, okay, rank 2, how do I get to rank 2? Well, that's what I need for rank 2. It's there to incentivize you, to motivate you a little more. And the rewards get bigger and better. The more success you have, the bigger your channel gets, the more XP you start acquiring, you start to rank up. There you can see 100 Rand, then it's suddenly 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. That's the 50,000 Rand check Patrick and Pumi got on Tuesday. Okay, they're at rank 10 already. Rank 10 in 10, 11 months. Okay, we give away tools that help you be more effective in this business. So here's Patrick and Pumi with their Lightning memory stick at rank 5 that they received. It's a little memory stick that plugs into everything. Apple, Android devices, whether it's a phone or a tablet or a laptop or a computer or a TV, that device plugs into everything. But more importantly, we put all our video collateral onto that stick so that you're able to show people who DuePoint is, what we do, regardless of where you are, what time it is, what device you have in your hands. Okay, here's Donnie at rank 7. Premium business cards that we get printed. These are one of a kind. I've never seen, in all my years working in marketing and advertising, I've never seen anyone with business cards like this. The purpose of the business cards is because people don't know who DuePoint is, right? Not some household brand name. We don't do marketing or advertising. So when you try to tell someone about DuePoint, they might not really give you the time of the day. But if you have the opportunity of giving them a business card that's about 20 times more valuable than the business card they have, they'll suddenly start taking you a little more seriously. They might give you a little more time to explain what DuePoint's all about. Suddenly you've got a little more credibility with them. Okay? At rank 9, this is a great reward because this is actually a recurring reward. When you get to rank 9, you will enjoy this reward every single year. It's business class tickets you and your family, every single year to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip every single year. Never again will you have to sit down and have a family meeting and discuss how much money is in your bank account before you decide where you're going on holiday. Okay? Take a look at where we're going at the end of this year.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun, where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So it's available to everybody in the room. It's nothing about you or your past or your circumstance that prevents you from getting to rank 9. Absolutely nothing. It comes down to you, your resourcefulness, your effectiveness, and the time that you commit to this business. We've got a wealth engineer that got to this rank 9 in 5.5 months. He doesn't have degrees in human psychology or human behavior. He's just put in the time. At rank 11, we buy car cash and we give it to you. No DuePoint stickers, yours. We're serious about seeing our wealth engineers become debt-free, right? We've got another benefit for our wealth engineers. This is something that we run every month. It's called the Wealth Quest, a little WQ in the top left there. And this month's Wealth Quest, the challenge that we put to our wealth engineers under the title of Triple Lightning Qualifier, very marketing-y, is that if you're able to put in 3 new wealth engineers into your business and help them get qualified, which means get each of them to bring in 3 people, right? So then what's that? 3 times 3, 9. If you can do that before the end of the month, you'll have a new iPad in your hands by next month, right? And this is something we run every single month. There's a new one. A few weeks ago, we got 8 wealth engineers, brand new iPhone 5Ss for conquering that month's wealth quest. So just more benefit that you can derive out of being a wealth engineer. We get the question, I hope you got your maths right. Seems to be spending a lot of money on our wealth engineers. Believe me, we've got our maths right. We've got enough experience to know what we're doing. This just illustrates the the juxtapose between traditional business and how we run our business. So our business model differs from the traditional business model because traditional business models, especially insurance companies, spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside this building because we don't do any marketing and advertising. How on earth do we tell people about DuePoint? Through you guys. Word of mouth, that simple God-given gift of speaking to other people, right? As simple as that. So instead of spending the billions that insurance companies spend on client acquisition through marketing and advertising, that portion of our premium we attribute to returns and rewards that we give to you guys, to our wealth engineers. And that is basically how our business model works. You might be wondering what the products are. We know it's not vitamins. We have 3 products. They've got very different financial benefit, each one of them. So you can look at taking out one product or all 3 products. The first product is an investment product. It's called Access Wealth. It's 299 Rand a month, of which we put 100 Rand into a tax-free investment account in your name. It's not a notice deposit. It's not a savings deposit. You can draw money out that investment within 72 hours. That's how long it takes to withdraw the money out there. On top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. Okay, so if something happens to you and you have this product, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand. Okay, investment product. Very straightforward. The second product is called Wealth Guard. It is strictly an insurance product. So it's only insurance, no investment, only insurance, 274 Rand a month. But this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of these products is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18. So you can be 90. You can still take out this product. The premium remains the same. The benefit amount remains the same. Okay. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club. The objective of this product is to save you money on the money that you're spending every month anyway. So if you become a Wealth Points Buyers Club member, it's only 274 Rand a month, and you get to engage with those list of suppliers or partners that we have over there. We've gone to these partners and negotiated discounts that you could never get on your own. Okay, we're adding to the list all the time. So a very popular one is ShopRite Checkers, for example. You get 2.5% off your full trolley at ShopRite Checkers every time you go shopping there, because we're spending a fortune on groceries every month, right? So you might as well save. So if you want immediate benefit out of any of the products, this is a great product to have. The Entertainer is also an awesome supplier that we've signed on. They give you 1.2 million Rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers to restaurants, to hotels around the world, to live events, golf courses, spas, beauticians, that type of thing. Okay. So if you have any questions around the products, come speak to me afterwards. I'll answer any of those questions. I remind you of the support that you get here. If you become a wealth engineer, lean into the support, please. Everything that we do here, our mandate is to support our wealth engineers. I can only support you if you come looking for it. So the facilities that we built are for our wealth engineers. You are welcome to have your own meetings in this auditorium. Use our boardrooms, use the breakout rooms. You can use all our free Wi-Fi. You can drink all the free tea and coffee. Just don't spill, otherwise Gertrude will shout at you. We live stream every single event that we do around the country every single day. Break out of Johannesburg, right? We've got wealth engineers that have thriving businesses in all the other provinces. It's more leverage for you, okay? So lean into that support. Decision slide. What's the decision? Is it, are you excited about this business? No. There'll be people that are excited about the business and people that aren't. Honestly, I don't really care about the people that aren't excited. I care about the people that are excited, that want to join. What I care about is whether you're going to be successful or not. Because as I said, joining is very easy. The question was, what are you going to sacrifice to make this business work for you if you want to do it, right? It's easy to get excited. We see New Year's. Everyone gets excited. Oh, I'm going to lose weight this year. 2017, I'm losing weight. 2017, I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. 1 week later, back to your old self. Don't want to see that. I want to see wealth engineers changing their future. Okay, and I see it. The platform works. We know the platform works. People have done way more than we ever expected with the platform that we've provided. So that's the decision you're going to make. Is it generations that you're not going to be watching in the week anymore? You're not going to watch Game of Thrones anymore? You're not going to gym anymore? You're waking up earlier? You're going to bed later? You're giving up your Saturday? You're giving up your Sunday? Decide. Decide. Commit to that routine. Okay. We make joining as easy as everything else. We've got free Wi-Fi, as I said. If you've got your own smartphone or tablet, jump onto our website. We've got iPads in the breakout rooms. Jump onto the homepage, click on the big blue apply button. You become a wealth engineer in about 7 minutes. That's how long it takes to go through the application form. That quick. You can be phoning those first 5 people this afternoon. You can be rank 1 by Saturday. Okay? That's the goal. Start at rank 1. Don't get excited about rank 9. You're nowhere near it. Get excited about the 55 rand. Okay? We have merchandise. It's not a profit center for us. The merchandise is here to make you more effective. Please consider getting business cards. Everything's on display in the merchandise cabinet. Don't go propose some magnificent business opportunity to your friend or to a colleague or a stranger, and they say, okay, that sounds great. Do you have a business card? No, I don't have a business card. Okay? It's all about credibility. Like I said, DuePoint doesn't do any advertising, so look at getting business cards. Don't ask me for a charger when you come to my office. Get a power bank. Okay? USB stick. We've got all our videos on the USB stick. So buy the USB stick if you don't want to use data. It's also very convenient. You can give it to a friend. You can plug it into a TV, do a presentation at home. Up to you. Those little pins that you see on the top left corner signify the wealth engineers that are earning money at DuePoint. Like I said, it's easy to become a wealth engineer, but to start earning money is a whole other story. Get the pin. I think it's 40 Rand for the pin. Get the pin. It shows people that you're earning at DuePoint, that you're being effective. And then we've got a couple of the other stuff available to you guys. I remind you, we've got a YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel's got everything on there. All the videos we've done in the last year, from training to development seminars to interviews with the top wealth engineers, information on the products. You can go watch a whole training seminar for an hour just on the products if you want to really know about the benefits around the products. We've got everything on there. Click subscribe. YouTube will notify you every time we upload a video or do a live stream. We've got a mobile app. Allows you to manage your channel from the palm of your hand. Don't have to look at a computer. Just run it from your mobile phone. Guys, that's me. I'm done. Thank you for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll remind you, we've got 2 public holidays coming up. Right? April's a mess. April is good for us. Why is it good for us? Because it gives us a whole day. A public holiday is a whole day to build your business. Right? Instead of building the person you work for's business. So we've got 2, 27th and the 1st coming up. We're going to be doing double presentations on each day. Come to those presentations. Make them days that you build your future. Guys, thank you for your time. I'll be outside.